What's up, everybody? Thank you for checking out this episode of Chewin' the Rag. Before we get started, I just want to give a couple of quick shout outs. First and foremost, Serenity Landscaping Services. Guys, if you are in the Albany area and you have a big landscaping project, or maybe just you need somebody to mow your lawn once in a while, reach out to Serenity Landscaping Services at 518-331-0774 and let them know that Chris from Chewin' the Rag sent you. Again, it could be a big landscaping project. It could just be somebody to take care of your lawn for you a few days a month. I apologize. Serenity Landscaping Services, 518-331-0774. Another quick shout out, again, if you are in the Albany, New York area, Rite. Rite does plumbing, drain, sewage, all your plumbing needs. It could be as simple as your toilet won't flush, or maybe you had some pipes burst in your basement like me, and you need them to come out. They don't hit you with those weekend fees, those holiday fees that other plumbing companies might hit you with. They always try to sneak that right in the end when you're paying your bill. Rite is very honest. They're upfront and they will let you know this is what you're paying. It's up to you to pay it. Give them a call at 518-649-0921. And same thing, let them know that Chris from Chewin' the Rag sent you. If you are like me, and you are a caffeine addict, pretty much, I highly suggest Dubby. So I've partnered with Dubby. They're a clean energy company. They just do powders. I have it right here. I can show you. I'm wearing a Dubby hat, literally. This right here. If you're on YouTube, you can see. I use it all the time. That's pretty empty. Probably should re-up soon. Dubby, it's jitter-free. I drink it in the morning before I have my coffee, to be honest. So I'll start with Dubby, and I really don't touch my coffee until like on my way home. And it's not because I need it. It's just because it's there. I made it, so I'm gonna have it. Give it a shot. They just introduced rather individual sample packs. So you don't have to get the tub like I have here. You can get the individual sampler. And with my code, you get it pretty cheap. So if you go to dubby.gg, grab a sample, try it. If you like it, then you can get yourself a tub. They have shakers on there. They have an anime shaker that they're discontinuing. So if you get it now, you'll be one of the few people that have one of the last remaining ones. They've got t-shirts, merch. If you do like their product and you want to support them, you can grab merch. Like I said, I'm wearing a hat right now. It's got the smiley face on it, and on the back, on the strap there, it just says "Be Better." It's whatever. It's just a little dad hat. But go to dubby.gg and use promo code Chewin. That's CHEWIN. There's no G. Dubby.gg, promo code Chewin at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your order. And then, like I said, they got the sample packs. So it's really, those are probably like $13-14, and then you get the 10% off with me. So you're paying little to nothing to at least try it out. And then if you like it, you can get the tub. While you are here, if you would please follow and support the podcast. I'm on Instagram at ChewinTheRag, Facebook.com/ChewinTheRag, YouTube.com/@CTRPod. If you go to ChewinTheRag.com, all the links are there. And if you are into gaming and watching streamers and whatnot, I also do a little bit over at Pinchworm Gaming on YouTube, which again will be at ChewinTheRag.com. If you go to ChewinTheRag.com, all the platform links are there. And whatever platform you choose to listen to the podcast on, please be sure to subscribe, rate it, leave a comment. Comments are always fun. If you're on YouTube, just leave a YouTube comment. I try to respond back to the majority of people that do comment on there. But also, I think Spotify has a comment option or a suggestion option. If you have anything at all that you would like to see, you could also email me at ChewinTheRagPod@gmail.com. I answer fan submitted, like listener submitted questions, any suggestions you might have for the podcast that you would like to see, or if you have somebody that you think would be good on a podcast that, if you have a streamer that you might like, anything at all, small business owner, something that they have something to promote and you think they'd be a good guest, suggest them. I'll reach out to them. And also, there is a link in the description of this episode to donate money to help the kids. There's a children's cancer awareness GoFundMe going on right now. and I will be putting the link right in the description. If you have a couple dollars, skip a cup of coffee, throw it toward the kids. There's a big charity event going on in September that I'm trying to help raise money for as well. So link in the description, donate your money, and thank you guys for checking out this episode. Are we good?
Oh, it
All
says
right, recording
started.
has started. All right. That was a nightmare, but we got it.
Yep, there we go.
Oh, welcome back to Chewin the Rag, everybody. My guest today, as I was teasing all week on social media and whatnot, if you follow me there, is Drill Sergeant E. How you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing, buddy?
I am good. It is 10 o'clock at night here. We are just now starting, so let's go.
Yeah, 4 o'clock in Hawaii.
How's that island time? How is it over there?
It's different, man. Everything moves a little slower out here.
Yeah. Where are you originally from?
Originally from Iowa.
Okay.
Born and raised. Grew up in Iowa. Joined the Army, and then haven't stopped moving since. You know.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah.
What now do you come from like a military family or was
Not
it just
really.
something? No.
Nah. So fun fact about me: when I was 18, my mom actually got me to join the National Guard, right? Because she was joining. So we went to basic training at the same time. We were 2 weeks apart.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're at the same place and everything. Because I was going to be a combat engineer, and she was going to be a horizontal engineer, like bulldozers and all that stuff.
Yep.
And so I left first, and then she left a few weeks after me. And it was the 4th of July, and they do like a big, like a concert thing that they send all the trainees to. And I was sitting down, still in red phase, like just about to go to white phase. And my mom, her platoon marches by, and she sees me, and she runs over and gives me a hug. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to get destroyed. And it happened. Yeah, it was rough. But yeah, joined the Guard in senior year of high school, and did I think almost 6 years in the Guard before I switched over.
Okay.
Deployed in 2010 to Afghanistan, and then switched over.
Wow. So I mean, that's got to be like a whole surreal experience to even like go through that with your mom. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I'd see her at church on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you, man?
I'm 34.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little older.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm 30. I just got a baby face. That's all.
Sure.
So
the leaf beard. It's the leaf beard. I got it shaved. Yeah.
That's cool, man. So, I mean, we're just gonna jump right into it. You know, I sent you all those. We got listener questions. We got a whole laundry list of
whatever you got, man. I'm ready for it.
I'm gonna start with those guys because they're gonna want me to get it out front.
Sure.
Everybody likes to hear their questions.
Sure.
So, first and foremost, what is your platoon nickname?
We got a couple of them. Okay. Our main one is Chaos, but we all call ourselves Gopher.
Okay.
There's a story behind that, and I don't really know it per se because I'm still I just got here to Hawaii in December, so I'm kind of still learning everything. But it was a funny story, I guess. One of the other staff sergeants, they said go for something, like go get something, or they're on the radio, go for Chaos, whatever, and he thought they were saying gopher, like we're not gopher. So it ended up sticking, and now our unofficial name is Gopher, whatever. But our platoon name is Chaos.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can almost tell some of these questions. You can tell who's military and who's not just by that. Like regular person's like ask him about his platoon name.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mortar platoon names are usually very similar across the board. It's going to be like I've been Shocker. I mean, I guess you can kind of put that one together. What the meaning is, yeah. And then we Thunder, not lightning, Cougars. Like typically, it's like the same generic names across the board. So.
Yeah, they sound like high school football teams.
Yeah, like Essaons for engineering. I don't know, some weird stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
What else we got here? We got can I touch your hat?
You don't want to touch it. It's bad luck. If you touch the hat, you're destined to be a drill. You don't want to be
Oh
that.
boy. that comes that was from a captain actually. My buddy was a
That's
captain.
funny. That's funny.
So,
1,000 burpees and I'll let you touch it.
all right. You hear that, Chris? You got it. Do you have a favorite insult?
Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say them on here though. Some PG ones. I just like to call them all like worthless. That's a big one. Like you suck. Tell them that like their mothers would be upset with them with how they're performing, stuff like that. To keep it PG. Rated R, there's some good ones, but
Yeah, we'll save that. That's off the record.
Yeah,
Patreon episode or something.
Yeah. Make sure you put audience controls or something.
Yeah, and this one's actually interesting. Your oldest recruit. Your oldest recruit. Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
The limit right now, I think I'm not a recruiter, so I don't know the exact,
right,
but I'm pretty sure it's 34. And like I've seen recruits that are up there like that. So 30, like mid 30s is like typically the highest you can get. Like I'm gonna use my mom as an example. When she came in, I think she was 34, 35 when she went through it. And what's crazy is those recruits are usually either really, really good because they're older and mature, or they just suck, especially in the infantry world when they're old like that, they just suck. You know what I mean? And you can't hide because you're the old guy in the platoon. So it's like, come on, grandpa,
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But like, I think the oldest I saw was, I think we had 34. I swear I had a kid that I thought he was like 40. And I asked him one day how old he was. And he was 18. I was like, bro, what?
Oh my. He grew up on a farm.
That's all that is. He was just a skinny, like drunken, like he looked old, like a grandpa. And he was 18. I was like, bro, you're in for a long 3+ years.
That is interesting though. Because like you don't think that it would go that high. Like even me, like being 30, it'd be like, there's no way I'd get. But then it's like, no, you
they take them.
Like,
especially right now because I don't know about this year, but last year, my last like 2 cycles, we were having trouble getting recruits to fill full cycles, right? So like a full cycle is 240 trainees, right? And my last one that we did, we barely were able to get 100. Like we got 108. Wow. Like when it came down to shipping them to like pick them up, we picked up 108 on pickup day, and that was crazy. So we had to condense it down to half of a company and double up the drill sergeants and stuff. So it was kind of it was good for the drills because we were able to do more, have more freedoms to like have days off and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was crazy because we couldn't fill and then the cycle before that was the same. It was like 160, and it was because it was back. I don't know if I can say COVID on here or not.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
It was back when COVID was still a thing. So I was there in the height of COVID, and it really hurt the numbers. And then a lot of trainees refused the vaccine, so we had to kick them out.
Oh wow,
that was a real thing. Like I can't even tell you how many we sent home because they didn't want to get the vaccine. And PT failures wasn't a thing, so we were getting a lot of like overweight,
just overweight.
Trainees. Yeah, and nobody wanted to join because. Okay, how do I word this delicately? There's not a war going on. So like the kids we weren't getting the war fighters, the ones that wanted to go to war. We were getting the ones that watched too much Call of Duty. And they thought that's what the army was like. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. I saw so many different kind of characters on the trail, like different kinds of kids. And it blew my mind because you see everything. Like you see the kids from Texas. You see the cowboys from Oklahoma. You see the weirdos from Tennessee that are always chewing something. You get the weird kids from Missouri, West Virginia, and then you get all these kids that come in from like Mexico, and they have to go. It's called a ESL, English as a Second Language, and it's like a course that they go to before they even ship to basic training. So they've already done 4+ months of basic training, but it's at Fort Sill. So these kids are already kind of indoctrinated into the basic training mentality. So they're good. They're usually pretty solid, but they're kind of weird. You know what I mean? But then you get your studs too, like these kids that come in that were like athletes in high school, but maybe their grades weren't good or they had family that served, and they do really well. A lot of them end up getting like special forces contracts, like special forces recruit contracts, or option 40 Ranger contracts. A lot of those guys that do. So
yeah, no, these are all things. You know, I should have said this in the intro, but you have your podcast, Drill Sergeant's Time.
Sure.
And these are all things you were talking about. You know, white phase, red phase.
Yeah.
You know, and going to the gym and all the things that. Like you do a really good job with. I said this to you. You do shorter episodes, which, you know, I don't know if that's intentional or not, but they're easy listens, and you do a good job at structure and like.
Sure.
I'm gonna try my best to get you ready without being there to get you ready,
and without giving you all of the.
You can't give all of it.
Like you got to learn some things the hard way. You know what I mean?
I still got to be able to call you useless.
Yeah, exactly. You got to mess up so I can make you get better, right?
Yeah, right. But I mean, in that regard, the stuff you read about online, or I read about online, somebody who's never done it before.
Sure.
You know, you hear about the quitters that won't quit, and that's the guys who like fake mental health issues. Or the big one that I saw that was like really surprising is multiple people brought up sleepwalking. Is that really as common as the internet made it, or
not anymore? Not anymore. It used to be. It used to be like that was like a quick way to get out, because like if you're a sleepwalker and like you're in a patrol base, like they're not going to let you. You know what I mean? But that's not so much a thing that they would kick you out for. More so today, these kids are coming in with prior mental health issues that they're not disclosing, and then they realize, hey, basic training's hard, so they go to sit call and they're like, hey, I came in with an issue, and now I'm going to bring it up so I can go home. That's what a lot of kids would get kicked, and not even just mental health either. They would hide injuries, like maybe they broke their foot or they got something on their back, and then they'd be like, I actually want to go home, and they're like, okay, well, existing prior to service, EPTS is what it's called, and they would go and they would use that, and that's one-way ticket home.
Wow.
But the kicker is when they go to get that EPTS, they don't leave right away. They get stuck there until after they do their turning green, they'll get stuck there until halfway through blackface. So they're going to end up still being there for like 3-4 months before they even get shipped home. You know what I mean?
So you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get this. I'm out the door.
You're still doing the stuff.
Dude, you're here for like half a year still.
You're still going to walk the ruck march. You're just not going to carry a ruck. And then while everyone else is shooting their rifles, you're going to go sit at the gate and check IDs coming on and off the range.
Yeah, you're missing the fun shit now.
Yeah, you still got to do it.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't even know that.
True story. Crazy.
And this one's funny.
Okay.
Is there a movie that you think honestly gets it right, and specifically the basic part of it, of enlisting, the army, whatever you want to call it?
Basic training?
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket. 100%.
Full Metal Jacket.
Oh my God, yeah. It's obviously not to that extent anymore.
Yeah, right. It's exaggerated now.
The little quick lines that he would spat off, like that's what drill sergeants do. Like they say words without even thinking, and it's just some of the funniest crap you ever say. And kids, there's always a Gomer Pyle. That's getting the platoon messed up constantly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's always that cowboy that's in charge. You know, it hits it pretty well. It gets the different kind of characters that come through basic training. You know, it hits it really well. I think Full Metal Jacket is probably one of the better ones.
It's literally, when you like think of it and the way you describe it, it's like the biggest sports team. You know what I mean? Because
it really is.
Team, you have that jock guy who's like, I'm gonna get it. You have the kid that's tripping doing laps, and everybody's doing more laps. it's literally sports.
And then you got the kid that can't even make his bed or put on
left
and right shoe. You know what I mean?
Just describe my brother. He's listening. Go fuck you guys.
Oh man, these kids, it's crazy too, because like a lot of these kids are fresh out of high school, first time away from home, so they have to be adults, and they don't know how. So drill sergeants come in and they're like, okay, well, now we're going to teach you how to do things that your mommies and daddies did for you, which is crazy. and I make videos about it because it's like funny, but it's 100% true. We have to teach these kids how to do hygiene, how to take showers. So the first 3 days we do, it's called shower drills. And shower drills, used back in the day, you turn all the showers on and you just walk under them, and that was your shower. Now we have to give them like 30 seconds in the shower, you know. But shower drills is a real thing. The drill sergeants are there with the timer. All right, 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, out. Next guy's in. Wash hot. We'd give them a block of instruction too before, like, hey, when you go into your showers, like they're all toeing the line in their flip flops, their hygiene bag, and in their towel. Wash your hot spots, your armpits, your little belly button. You know, it's like the other stuff. And then they go in and they do it because kids don't shower. Some kids will just not shower if you don't make them, because they're gross, and it turns into a health hazard because then they get sick and then everybody else gets sick, and then like some kids don't brush their teeth the whole time they're there. It's like, bro, take your toothbrush, left, right, up, down, circle. You know what I mean? You have to literally give them a block of instruction on how to brush their freaking teeth. We teach them how to make their bed with the hospital corners. We literally give them a picture to hang up in their wall locker on what their wall locker needs to look like, and then we show them how to fold their clothes, like literally where to put their boots, how to fold their little undies. It's nuts, and they still mess it up.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
of course they do.
Yeah. It's nuts. It's nuts.
I mean, in that like same aspect, you know, we brought it up talking about sports. The kids, you talk about the parents who didn't teach them this, that, the third.
Yeah.
They've never been yelled at.
Right.
Yeah, those kids.
They just freak out. Shut down. Never been yelled in their life, and now
you can tell who's you can tell who's been yelled at. Who's had a coach and who hasn't.
Yes, it's so true, man. I swear to God. Like kids that grew up with maybe getting raised by their grandma.
Right.
Maybe didn't have a dad in their life.
Yep.
Like those are the kids that generally break down easy. And they end up leeching onto the drill sergeants too, because the drill sergeants essentially become like big brother / father figure. Yeah. And it's crazy because it really happens. Like these kids like almost would like, drill sergeant, what can I do to not disappoint you today? Because you're like my dad, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when the real dad comes, it's like, hey, this is the guy that's been raising me the last 6 months. What's up, homie? Yeah. True story. It's wild, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's actually perfect for this right here. So I know you're not a recruiter, but you've probably felt this, or you know people who have felt this. Advice for that kid that's wondering if they're making a mistake right before the swearing. You know what I mean? Like, because that's got to be normal. It's a life choice here.
Yeah. Okay. So before this, like, if you think you're making a mistake, it's okay. It's because you're it's a life-changing event.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're going active duty, like you're gonna have to leave home. Like it's not necessarily you're thinking it's a bad choice, right? Because you already made the choice.
Yeah, the choice is there.
You're just nervous because you're actually having to like go through with it and essentially live up to what you said you were gonna do.
Yeah.
And grow up. It forces you to almost grow up a little bit. Privates are stupid though. They never grow up all the way until they make E5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that advice right before you're about to swear in, just know that you joined for a reason. So it's probably going to embetter your life essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So doubts are okay, but regrets, if you're regretting joining, you should probably not join.
Yeah, right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
the Army's not for everyone.
Right, and that's fine. Like, you don't want everyone.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want
in
the kids
anything.
that
You don't
want to be there.
Yeah, you don't want everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even just Army.
Yeah.
Like, just anything at all.
Yeah. There's a reason that I think that the statistic is less than 1% of all of Americans will serve in the military at some capacity. Less than 1% out of all the billions of people we have. Only a very small fraction. So it's like, if you think the Army's for you, but it's not for you, it's okay. Because it's not for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It's not for literally the majority. So
exactly.
You're not at a place.
Exactly.
Here.
Yeah. Like you're training. You got to accept the fact that you're going to be training to fight America's war at some point. And if you're not okay with that, then you got to get out. Get on.
And then I forget what I was going to say. Sorry. Forget about it. We'll skip it. No, you're good. It was something. It was on that. but I can't remember exactly what it was. We'll circle
Sure,
back. It'll hit me
sure,
randomly. I got
sure.
ADHD that's
Of
undiagnosed.
course.
And is there anything more annoying than the I could never join the military, bro? I see red, and if a drill sergeant yelled at me, I would punch him in the face, guy.
It's
'Cause that's
so
everywhere.
it is so funny too, and those are the guys that end up joining too. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, of course.
And then when the drill sergeant's in their face, they're the ones that are probably the quickest to cry.
Yeah.
Nobody
guy's
ever
never
swings.
thrown a punch.
Nobody ever threw hands with drill sergeant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this drill sergeant. I'm sure some have had other stories, but I've provoked it. Don't get me wrong. I will get up in your grill and be like, "Hey, man,
Yeah.
you want to fight, huh? You want to fight me, huh? Well, come on, you want to fight a drill sergeant? Now's your chance." You know? Nobody ever does, though. At least for me, I never got the opportunity.
I like that it's called an opportunity.
I'm not going to take away that opportunity.
Yeah, I like that. That's what you refer to. Yeah, it's a chance. I never got that great chance. It just,
Right.
What a.
Yeah.
I mean, the punishment for that. That's really. It's not worth it.
No, well, first things first is drill sergeant's going to defend himself, and you're going to lose the fight, right? And then the second part is after drill sergeant gets done mollywhopping on you, he's going to smack you with an Article 15, and you're going to get stuck with extra duty and losing 2 months of half. You're going to get half month pay for 2 months, and if you have any rank, you're going to go back a rank.
Oh,
and you're still going to get mollywhopped on top of that.
Right, so you got beat up, lost some money. It's not worth it. It's not.
And you're going to be doing extra duty till 10, 11 o'clock at night every night.
And you
Cutting.
got everybody else that's there watched. So now,
so now you're like the guy that got beat up by drill sergeant. That's what they're going to remember you for forever. Like there's always things that people remember in basic training, and getting beat up by drill sergeant's one of them.
Do you have any one story that jumps out at you as a drill sergeant?
Like a funny one or like a
it could be
any funny.
Give me funny. We like
okay. So it was my second cycle, and we were still in red phase, and I had this thing that I would always do, like because where my battalion was, our PT track was there, and then right next to the PT track was the road to like leave base, right? And I would always tell the pilots like, hey, if this ain't for you, that's the road. Kick the right, follow it down till you find the bus station and head on home, right? And I would always say it just as a joke, because it's funny and it makes them feel bad because they're still in basic training, And one day I'm on CQ. CQ is where you do 24-hour duty, and one drill sergeant spends the night at the company, answers the phone, and if anything happens, like the company burns down, they call the cops. Pretty much, that's CQ. And I'm on CQ pulling my 24-hour duty, and it's the changeover's at 5:30 in the morning, right?
Yep.
It's 5:15, and the platoon's coming downstairs for first formation and PT, and a bunch of the privates come up to the door. Drill sergeant. I'm like, what? They're like, I'm gonna say a fake name. Private Smith. This isn't his real name. Private Smith. He took the trash out and he didn't come back. I'm like, what do you mean he didn't come back? He said. He said Drill Sergeant said if I wanted to leave to hit the road. So and I was like, you gotta be shitting me, man. So it's 5:25. I'm about to get off shift. I have to go hop in the duty van, drive around post looking for this kid. I didn't find him. We looked for about an hour and a half, 2 hours for this kid. Gets a mile up the road, and another drill sergeant from another battalion sees this kid walking, still in PTs, picks him up, takes him to the MP station, drops him off. Tells him it's the bus station, drops him off at the MP station, says, see you later, kid. They call us, and then we got to go pick this kid up. It gets worse. We talked this kid into training, going back into training. We're like, all right, we're going to let this kid have a second chance. Maybe he was just scared, right? He gets all the way through to the end of white phase. He's one of the best shots in the platoon at this point. Crushing it, expert every time. Goes up to do RM-18. He said, I refuse to train. I'm like, what do you mean you refuse to train? He's like, I don't want to do it. He planned it. He found out that if you don't do RM-18, the CCO qualification, it's an automatic recycle. And then if you refuse to recycle, they kick you out. So he did that. I was like, Private Smith, I just spent the last month trying to get you right. I thought you were there, and then you quit on me. And that was the day. That was the day I started hating trainees.
Yeah. That's so annoying because you're a dirtbag. You're smart.
You can shoot good, but just go on home. Go on.
He's a politician somewhere that we don't know
Oh
about.
God. Or he's a freaking meth head. In
Yeah.
Whatever. Either one.
Yeah. Either he used that like snake bullshit to get into
Yeah.
politics,
Yeah.
or he's addicted to
Yeah.
drugs.
He's definitely addicted to drugs.
So we touched on your podcast a little bit.
Mhm.
Do you think because your idea, if it wasn't for Reddit, obviously I wouldn't even have seen
Sure.
this idea. It's not an idea that I've seen before.
Yeah.
Not that I'm out there searching, drill sergeant podcasts,
Right.
but like I'm heavily involved in podcasts, and it's just not something I've seen. Do you think if this was something that was introduced by more people on a larger scale,
Yeah.
do you think that this would not only benefit those coming in, but also make your job a little less fun because there'd be less fuck ups, like we said, but probably a little bit more easier, right?
Yes.
Like 100%.
Listen, that's the reason why I started this, right? So,
Yeah.
Like I said, I did four cycles, 22 weeks, 2 years on the trail, and the trainees that come in are clueless. They have no idea what to expect when they get there. So they're basically starting from the ground up. So if they get the opportunity to see some of my videos and they can use that to better prepare themselves, whether it's getting fit before they go or learning the soldier's creed before they go, or just getting their minds right and so a big thing is showing up unprepared and having to deal with the stressors to get in there. So like the finances, nobody thinks about that. Like you have to make sure your bills are paid when you get there, because let's be honest, you're not going to get paid for at least a month. Right. You're not going to get a single paycheck. Nobody thinks about that, right? Because you get the basic training, you just quit your job, whatever job you had, you're not going to get that paycheck. And then it's going to take them at least a full month's pay period for that to kick over. For a lot of people, it took upwards of 6 to 8 weeks before they'd even get their first paycheck. Granted, they get back pay, but
of course,
you got to prepare your bills. You might not be getting paid for 6 to 8 weeks. That's a big thing people don't think about. Families, you have to make sure your families know where you're going, because that's another one. Like they just left for basic training one day, and mom and dad didn't know their son joined the army.
Oh no!
Yeah. So the video, and the other big one is these privates today. Like back when I came in the military, people were joined to fight wars. So they came in. Majority of these kids that come in were in shape. Like that was a big one, because they knew that at some point in the very near future, they're going to have to be pointing a barrel down at somebody and maneuvering on an enemy, right?
Right.
These kids don't get that, and they show up, and they're just slow, can't do push-ups, and they just don't have that mentality. So like my videos on TikTok and YouTube and on Spotify, they're just awareness essentially, because what happens is drill sergeants have to work harder because you didn't prepare yourself before you got there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you would have showed up prepared, then we can do a little more training on battlefield operations, battle drills, patrol base, stuff like that.
Right. And even like just a basic prepare, like not even, okay, put away the side that, you may have to aim a gun at somebody at some point.
Sure.
Do a fucking push-up.
Exactly.
There's the basic level of things.
That is the biggest pushback I get on my videos, bro. I swear to God. These soldiers that went through training already, they're like, oh, don't worry, you don't have to do it. You're going to get right when you get there. Yeah, that's the drill sergeant's job. They're going to make you do push-ups when you get there.
Right.
But you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer for 4, 6, 8 weeks until your body's acclimated to actually working out. Because most of these kids, I would say 7 out of 10 kids in basic training that show up have never worked out a day in their life right now.
Right.
Outside of even like I'm talking school sports, like 3 out of 10 kids maybe did a school sport.
Yep.
And worked out. The other 7 sit at home on their couch, didn't do a freaking thing, man. So it's like, bro, now we have to do extra PT, and then you're gonna cry to drill sergeant because your feelings are hurt because he's yelling at you to motivate you, and then you might end up getting an injury and end up sick call. Like it's just the whole thing, right? But if you get in the gym now, if you say you're leaving in August, it's July. That means you got 4 weeks to run 2 miles every other day. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And you get a membership to a gym. You just feel better when you work out, because you're going to do a lot of it after basic training, because you still got to stay fit. And if you don't stay fit, they're just going to kick you out of the army, because they can do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's,
it's crazy.
When because I've had buddies join, and I
Sure.
was working out with them. We were going to the
Yeah.
gym, we were lifting, but you
Sure.
could tell the switch that happened because they started running more and lifting
Yeah.
less. Like it
Yeah.
was all about
Right.
using your body, less weight, everything
Right.
else.
Yeah.
Would you still say like running is king when it comes to, because like I mean that dude, my buddy Justin was just running
Yeah.
nonstop.
Yeah. Listen. People all hate on running. They're like, oh, the running toxic climate. No, it doesn't matter where you go. Okay,
Yeah.
especially in the infantry world, every Monday is a run day across the board. It doesn't matter what battalion you're in, what post you're at. You run Monday. You run 5 miles typically Monday, and then Wednesdays are usually a sprint day. Like you're at least running twice a week, and then one day out of that week you're doing some kind of ruck march. So it's another form of cardio, right?
Yep.
Running is one. It's probably one of the biggest factors too, because we also do. It's called the ACFT. It's I think it's 6 events. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. 6. It's the PT test that we take, and the last event in the PT test is a 2-mile run, but that's after already doing the deadlift, the ball throw, the sprint drag carry, the plank. So you're going to be tired already when you run. And if you fail the PT test, that's grounds for getting flagged. And if you get flagged, then you're not going to schools, you're not getting promoted. So it's a whole thing. And then the pushback that I get on these videos is, oh, the ACFT, you don't have to run fast. It's 22 minutes. Sure, go ahead and run 22-minute 2 mile. When we're doing, and basic training, when we're out doing our Eagle run and you fall out because we're running 9-minute miles at a slow pace.
Yeah.
Go ahead and follow that Eagle run and recycle for 30 days. I dare you. And it's so funny. It's like, dude, come on.
You can tell the guys who are like, I'm just gonna coast through this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm trying to make it so you don't have to coast through. Like,
that's exactly it. Yes, you get it, man. You get it. That's like 90% of my videos is like, dude, don't be slow, don't be weak, and basic training, everything else is easy for you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's literally what it comes down to. And you get these guys who just push back, and you get. They're just the guys that push back. That's it's your personality.
Every single post,
Like, why? If you really thought that, why aren't you the one making these videos and walking people through it? Like, you have all these ideas. You're on my video. Go.
Exactly.
You go talk about it,
bro. Exactly. They don't get it, or they've never been a drill sergeant and they don't see firsthand. You know what I mean? That's another one. A lot of these guys never been on the trail. They just did the Army time. Maybe they made it to E4, E5. So they got to be that I'm going to cuss. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, you're good. Good.
Maybe they got to be that shitbag private that didn't care about PT when their squad leader was trying to get them right, but they didn't care. You know what I mean? They weren't on the other side where you're the squad leader that's trying to look good and having a good squad because your guys are studs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're good at PT, you look better in the Army, period.
Yeah.
That's just hands down. Like 99% of the soldiers in the Army, when they look at you for like a waiver, right? So when you're PFC and you've been in for 18 months, you qualify for promotion to specialist. However, the only way to get that is you have to get selected. Who am I going to pick? The guy that has really good PT score, or the guy that, he's just kind of smart. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm gonna pick the guy that's gonna lead from the front, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's how
personal preference and leadership styles is all it is. It's wild. You see every type of person when you post videos like that.
Yeah, that's literally.
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's literally, if you look at it from like outside of Army, that's just everything. Everything. Everybody always has their own view, and I don't have to work as hard as the next guy because I'm smarter than the next guy. It's like, sure, buddy, you coast on that as long as you want.
Maybe. Good luck. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like we got a Ranger School slot open up. I'm not going to send the guy that runs a 22-minute 2 mile to Ranger School. You know what I mean? But maybe your goal is not Ranger School. Maybe your goal is to join the military and be average. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't want trainees coming in being average, because if they're going to come in being average, that means they're going to suck, and I have to get them to that average point before they leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Exactly. And it makes drill sergeants' jobs easier if they get a good batch of kids that are physically fit and not a bunch of, how do I word this delicately? A bunch of slow kids.
Yeah, we'll say that. Stay slow.
Yeah.
And then this one's not even necessarily, your job. This is a
Sure.
podcasting question. So
Okay.
it was cool because when I found you and, I checked out your channel, I liked
Yeah.
it. I was
Yeah.
able to kind of fly through it because you do these short videos, but they're informative.
Right.
Was that always the plan? Is the plan to keep them short and informative for
Pretty
like attention
much.
span, or do you,
Yeah.
when you're listening, do you prefer shorter episodes? Like what made you say, like, because I think they're around like what, 25, 22 minutes usually,
Yeah.
roughly 30 minutes.
So yes and no. Here's the thing. People get bored watching that stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I try to hit the main points of each
Yep.
phase, and that's kind of essentially what the videos are about. Is this? I'm trying to get through each phase and then go back through and smash individual events throughout the cycle.
Right.
So yeah, I keep them generally. I try to keep them around 20 minutes, so I don't lose the audience. And it's just me talking about my
Yeah.
personal experiences. Everyone's got their own experience too. So having you on here to talk about it kind of helps too. And I want to get other people on mine as well to like give me their experience in basic training or their
Yep.
experience as a drill sergeant. Like that's the end state goal. I wouldn't say end state. That's the progress goal of the
Yeah.
videos. So
No, I like it. And I think it's smart because if you were to do an hour, then you're
yeah,
gonna miss out on doing your next episode because you, instead of just splitting that up.
exactly.
So it is
Exactly.
smart. It helps your catalog, and then it opens up conversation for when you do have people like myself.
Sure.
Well, obviously, that's not my line of work at all.
Sure,
but
sure,
I can
sure.
get the questions out there, and then eventually you'll get somebody in that line of work. And
Yeah,
then that's
yeah.
when you can expand.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. That was the goal behind it. And I think so far it's been pretty well. The feedback's been decent. I just got to kind of get through it all so that I can go back. That's the goal, is to get through the whole phase and then start hitting individual events throughout the process.
Okay.
Like I want to do a video on just the forge. I want to do a video on just graduation. I want to do a video on the range, like rangeisms, stuff like that, how to shoot. Like my next video I want to do is on the PT test. I'm going to do a 20-minute video on the ACFT and the fact that it's changing again potentially in the very near future. Like we just spent 5 years perfecting this dang functional fitness PT test just to go back to what we were doing before.
Yeah, right. Oh my God.
It's a nightmare, man. It's a nightmare.
Insane.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. It's good. And you're everywhere. You're on Twitch, you stream a little bit, YouTube. I mean, you're live on right now.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that, and then you mentioned TikTok. I didn't even know you were over there.
Yeah, TikTok's where most of my following is, honestly.
Really?
Yep.
That's where I'm trying to grow my following, but I got to be better at getting over there.
And that's kind of what got me sold on the shorter episodes, because let's be honest, today's branch of youngins has a very short attention span. So short, sweet, to the point, right? And put a little humor in there, a little dark, dry humor. It goes a long way, right?
that's like, because normally we do like anywhere from a half hour to an hour.
Sure.
They carry over sometimes. Mm-hmm. And like, it's tough because it's just people talk. It's usually one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do I keep people in? So I try to make sure I have that humor.
Right.
Because
you gotta give them a buy-in.
Yeah. Because a lot of people just want to be like, okay, good. I got 20 minutes. I'm good.
Sure.
I'll scroll on to the next.
Sure.
We're in like a scroll society. Nobody cares anymore.
Exactly. Like, oh, that's cool. 10 seconds in.
Yeah. Already forgot about it. Forgot about it.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Like you have your like you and me, right? We like to watch videos, like, because we're older. That's just kind of how it is. But like, they made the shorts tab for a reason. I watched a video on it. The younger generation, they literally just go to the shorts. They don't even watch videos, and they scroll through the shorts until they find one that's cool. And the thumbnail, oh, that looks kind of cool. 10 seconds. Yeah, that's it. That's literally all it is.
All it is. I got to get better thumbnails.
Yeah, that's my project right now.
It's like, you need it. You literally do need it, because
why do I want to look at that video?
This face isn't gonna draw anybody. People are like, oh, I gotta see what that guy's saying. He's got
look at those
smiley face hat.
It's the beard, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
that's
true.
good. Yeah,
It's true.
it's facts. Yeah,
So I know all your links. I've got, I follow you on everything.
sure.
Where can people find you? What are some of your ads and everything?
So I'm on TikTok. That's my main one. It's just Dsense, DSENTS 59. That's also my YouTube handle as well. Um, and I pretty much post very similar videos. TikTok's the shorter videos, and then if you want to actually get in depth about the I guess phases and more about base training, it's got the longer videos on there. And then Spotify, if you just look up Drill Sergeant's Time when you're on the go, I put it on there as well.
Yeah, good. And like I said, I mean, this has nothing to do with me. It's not my podcast, but I'm not even military. And when I saw this, I checked it out and immediately reached out because it is something that I think it's cool. I think what you do is
Thank
fucking
you.
sweet, and
I appreciate it.
you know how to make it so even people like me, I'm still like, oh, that's pretty fucking interesting. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
I highly suggest it. I'll put everything right in the description. If you're on Spotify, YouTube,
Sure.
wherever you're watching this,
Sure.
all that will be right in the subscription. We're about 40 minutes in now.
Yep.
Do you have anything that I haven't touched on that you think is important or that you want to bring up, or do you want to bullshit? Whatever you want to do here.
Well, basic training is just the first step. That's what my videos are about, but it gets real after basic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where you really find who you're going to be in the Army. You know what I mean? Like when I came in, I wasn't planning on doing 20 years. And I've been trying to get out since I came in, right? I keep re-enlisting. But now I'm in def until I retire. So I guess if you're trying to make that decision to join, know that you don't have to make it right now. Not necessarily join, but to make a career out of it, because life happens and things happen along the way that may waver your decision one way or the other. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing I can, I guess, put about it. And don't stress it if you are leaving for basic training soon, because you're gonna have enough stress in the near future. So enjoy life while you still have your freedom.
Yeah, don't go counting down the days. Just work.
People do that. It's like, dude, you're
it.
about to be hating life for the next 22 weeks, bro.
Yeah,
Chill.
it's like countdown to hell.
People want it, I guess, until they get there and like, well, I messed up.
It is interesting though that the point that just because you're in doesn't mean you're like everybody. You can get your out.
Yeah.
And then you have those guys who are like, I'm out of here, and then they're like, I'm re-enlisting.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
A lot of the good guys are the ones that are getting out after 3-4 years, and it's disappointing because they fall into places that are more. I'm gonna say toxic. I probably shouldn't, but it's a toxic environment where they're at, and these really good soldiers get treated like dog crap, and then they, rather than doing really good in the military, they go on and do really good in the civilian world.
Yeah, right.
So.
I know. My buddies. I got a buddy who's a police officer who was military. Sure. I got a buddy who's a firefighter who's military. Yeah. So like, you're right. These guys who are good at their job in the military and whatnot, they do get out and they do come here and they try to continue that. So
sure.
Sometimes it's beneficial for people like me who have like good cops and good firefighters because they were good in the military.
Yeah.
But it sucks for guys like you who miss out on having a good soldier with you.
Yeah, like we got some, we get some good ones, but man, more often than not, the good ones are the ones that go. If that makes sense without saying too much about it, you know what I mean? Like, but for me, like I wasn't, when I came in first, I wasn't a career soldier. You know what I mean? I wasn't the best at everything I did. I was very mediocre, average. But as time goes on and life happens, like I said, you want to try harder and you set goals, and then more life happens. You're like, well, now I kind of got to. And then you're like, well, I kind of like the environment.
Yeah. Especially you though, because you came in, you were young.
Yeah.
So like you're maturing in this line of work, in this career. So like you're maturing with it.
Yes.
So that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Like being a private, I say this to the trainees, right? Like, don't stress messing up. Like, as a private, you're supposed to mess up,
right?
And then you're supposed to learn from it. You know what I mean? So don't stress doing the wrong. Because a lot of these kids, they overthink it, and instead of doing something because they're afraid of failing, they just don't do it. Just do it. Just do it and fail, and then do it better the next time. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Exactly.
That's the Army for me. Like I fail continuously, and I just do it again until I get it. Like I'm going to Ranger School in the near future, and I have no idea how it's going to go. If I fail, I'm going to have to go back. I'm not going to just not do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It's the same thing for basic. Like you're going to fail something in basic, maybe like a PT test or something. Like don't be like, oh, I'm a dirt bag, I got to get out. No, just go run like I told you to do in the first place, and then you pass it.
And it's like, those are things that apply to real world stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna go fail at your 9 to 5 and then fucking quit the next day. Like
Yeah.
you still need your job. So
Exactly.
just go in the next day, be like, I had a shitty day yesterday.
Yeah.
How do I get better?
Yep.
It's the same exact fucking thing.
You lay your head down on the pillow, everything starts fresh the next day. New start, you know, it's time to get it.
It depends. Some people might just walk out that day, but
That's
we're not
true.
talking. We're not talking to you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just hit the dumpsters and keep going.
Yeah. They're like, fuck this.
I'm out,
We're not talking to you.
Oh, that's good. That's real good.
Oh shit.
But yeah. I've enjoyed this. This is a good time.
Yeah, no, this was fun. I'm glad we, sat for an hour and figured out our technology shit.
Worked out the kinks and stuff. Yeah.
It was good though, because I mean,
yeah,
we'll do it. We'll probably do it again sometime in the future.
Yeah, please. I would love to be on again, and
we'll know how to get it.
We'll know how to do it right.
It's interesting just in general though, because on top of the technology shit, we're like, all right, we're 6 hours apart. Like that's the kicker right there. Like
that's the only one.
It's dinner time for you right now, and I'm
I'm about to go eat some pizza.
It's 11 o'clock at night.
It's bedtime for you, man.
I gotta not wake my son up in the other room. But man, this was a lot of fun. Make sure you guys, links all in the description for here. Definitely check that out. ChewinTheRag.com for all my links as always. And if you're thinking about enlisting, just follow this. Don't follow me. I'm not. I'll give you terrible advice. I'm like, oh, you're not thinking. You have second thoughts? Yeah, just don't go. Just don't go. Get on Indeed and look for a job.
Right. Any job is better than this, I swear.
Yeah. You don't know what you want. Get away from me.
Oh, you're awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, this was a lot of fun.
Definitely.
Thank you, Reddit.
You're right.
Like that's literally, you're my second guest, I think, from Reddit.
No way.
Like, it is. Yeah, it's super helpful.
Yeah.
Over there.
It's the only way to really promote it between that and
I guess basic social media.
Social media. Yeah.
Yeah, but these are all my friends on Facebook. They don't give a shit.
Right.
About my podcast.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
I've known you your whole life. You can't tell a story I haven't heard. I'm like, fuck off. How's that?
No, that's fair.
Yeah, you're right, but I also need a guest this week. Please help me out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man, well, I would say good night, but it's fucking dinner time for you. So go enjoy some pizza.
Sure, man. Sure, buddy. I appreciate it, guys.
This was a lot of fun, man.
Definitely,
Thank you.
Definitely. Yep. All right. Well, I'm gonna go eat, bud. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
And this is awesome, man. I'll be sure to check out your other videos too.
Oh, I appreciate it, man.
Well,
thank you. Thank you.
All right, buddy. I'll see you on the next one. Yeah.
Yeah.